in which we're going to go ahead and ask ChatGPT regarding the best music that we can potentially use for our video. Now, I've already went ahead and taken screenshots or screen recordings of these videos, and this is what it will look like. So it will look like a scene with nothing but the scene. So there's no sound. And let's look at one of them right now. So as you can see, this is a scene of Smaug and Bilbo running, and this is what we're going to use as the introductory scene. Then we have scene number 2. So basically, you just have to be good at taking screen recordings and trimming those screen recordings, because there are certain scenes that you need to take away. And just keep 5 to 6 seconds per scene, and we will use those. This is the second one, in which we show Bilbo removing the ring, Smaug saying the incantation of precious, precious. And quite frankly, even if I was wearing the ring, with that noise of Smaug or the sound of Smaug, you would remove the ring. So here, as you can see, there is Gollum happy with the ring. And then we have another scene here in which there is basically showcasing Isildur and Frodo's, not this one. This is the one with showing. Actually, here I've edited this using Camtasia, and I've increased the size of the last part of the video in which there is the eye, and I basically just increased the length of that 1 second scene where the eye is shown to emphasize on it. And here is a scene basically showcasing Frodo and Isildur impacted with the ring, as it does with pretty much everybody that touches it. And then this is scene number 6, where we have Bilbo really struggling. And yeah, this is it. And then the final scene showcasing the ring. It's a closing scene in which we show Gandalf trying to touch the ring, but the ring is like a snake to Gandalf. So as you can see there, that's what it is. So now what we ought to do, we ought to assemble these videos. But first of all, we need to find out a pretty good background music for the clip. And also, I'd like you to go and download a transition SFX sound. So if you go and look on Google for transition SFX sound, you shall find some transition SFX sound. Now here I found this. Let me listen to this. This sound is what I will use as the transition between each scene. So each scene, I will use this as a sound for the transition. And now let's ask ChatGPT to suggest a background music that would best fit. And it's going to proceed. Now, in the meantime, I'd like you to go and conduct a research about the copyright regarding what we're doing. So if you look for a YouTube video or movie, using movies in YouTube videos copyright, using movies in YouTube videos copyright. There is a link here, which is, it goes to this website. Basically, let me scroll. I think I can just share it with you. And it's in HitPaw. There's a website called HitPaw. They have an article about copyright regarding when you're using scenes from movies. Now, if you'd like to use scenes from movies, there are plenty of videos out there that are going to tell you regarding copyright. But this link here, I think, is going to be very sufficient for most of you. But what I want to say regarding copyright is, if you're just using clips from the movie, as long as you're not using the entire movie or claiming it to be yours, or creating a website where you put the movie and then get people to watch the movie in your website so that you can make AdSense money, even though people do that still. And it's Google doesn't take those websites down for some reason. But if you're doing it for educational reasons, if you're just taking bits and pieces from movies, that's called fair use, and it should not be a problem, as long as you're not taking the entire movie or claiming it to be yours, or not modifying it heavily by adding, like we're going to do, transitions. So basically, you should have no problem. But still, I'll leave the link to you in the resources so that you can go and search. Now, for the background music here, basically cinematic fantasy music, mysterious and atmosphere score. I'll go with cinematic and fantasy music. So if I go to Google, you search for cinematic, right? Cinematic and fantasy music, background music actually, because we don't want it to be a music where someone is singing. We just want a background music. Pixabay. Pixabay actually is a treasure trove for pretty much anything you need, and you can find elements with no copyright. So I'm gonna go here. Let's listen to the first one. Now this one is scary. I'm gonna go for the second. Let's see. Well, not really. This one, yes, I think this one is good because it has that Harry Potter element to it, that thing. But let me listen again. Yeah, I think this one will fit perfectly in what we're trying to do. So now that we got this done, the only thing we're going to do right now is I'm going to introduce you in the next lecture to 11 Labs, which is the software that's going to help us to turn the voiceovers into real sounds. By the way, if you'd like to create a voice of Gandalf, you can actually. That's quite fun because you can create a Gandalf voice. That's called deepfake. But this course is not about deepfake, so I'm just going to leave that for maybe those of you that want to go and explore that by yourself. You can also find a lot of videos about that. But deepfaking, you can actually create a deepfaked voice of a person. I can show you my library of voices. I have Donald Trump cloned. I have Joe Biden cloned. I have all these kinds of famous voices cloned. But we'll talk about that in the next lecture. As of now, I'll see you in the next lecture in which we're going to go and clone. And not clone, but in which we're going to choose a voiceover for someone, a storyteller, using a software called 11 Labs. See you in the next lecture.